Picture this: a calm suburban morning, sun spilling over trimmed lawns, birds chirping over white fences. I grab my coffee, step out, and freeze. A shiny silver SUV is blocking my driveway again. Same HOA Karen. Sunglasses on, arms crossed, smirking like she owns the road. She yells, "You can't move your truck today. There's an HOA event." Except, my property isn't part of her HOA. It never was. When I told her that, she laughed in my face and said, "Oh, I'll make it part of the HOA, watch me." But this time, I didn't just take photos, I called the sheriff, and when they arrived, what they found in their system turned the entire neighborhood upside down. Because the HOA president, who'd been screaming about rules, had an active arrest warrant. It all started 3 weeks after I moved into my house on Maple Glen Drive, a quiet neighborhood where lawns are greener than common sense, and everyone drives the same overpriced SUV. Except me. I had a lifted black truck, loud, proud, and impossible for Karen to ignore. From the day I arrived, she'd been itching for a fight. First, it was the truck too tall for the neighborhood aesthetic. Then it was, "You can't hang your American flag on that side of the porch." Every day, a new complaint slipped into my mailbox like clockwork. But that morning, she crossed the line. Her SUV sat diagonally across my driveway, blocking it entirely. She was standing there, coffee in one hand, HOA clipboard in the other, barking orders at landscapers like a suburban general. I walked over. "Karen, move your car." She didn't even flinch. "Oh, sorry," she said sweetly. "HOA event today. Roads closed." I pointed at the pavement. "This driveway is mine. You don't get to close it." Her tone snapped like a whip. "This street is under HOA jurisdiction, and that includes your driveway if it touches HOA pavement. You should have read the bylaws." I took a deep breath. I had read the bylaws because, technically, my house sat just outside the HOA legal boundary. She knew it, but her control didn't stop at property lines. I said calmly, "You're trespassing. Move your car in the next 5 minutes, or I'm calling the sheriff." She laughed. "You think the sheriff works for you? Honey, they know me." And that was it. The moment she said it, something inside me clicked. I pulled out my phone, snapped pictures, license plate, time, angle. Then I called the sheriff's department. The dispatcher listened quietly and said, "We'll send someone right over." When the patrol SUV rolled in 10 minutes later, the color drained from Karen's face. 2 deputies stepped out, calm, professional, sunglasses on. "Ma'am," one said, "is that your vehicle blocking this man's driveway?" Karen immediately turned on her act. "Oh, officers, thank goodness you're here. This man, he's harassing me. I'm the HOA president, and he's violating multiple neighborhood codes." The deputy raised a brow. "Ma'am, that's not what I asked." The second officer, meanwhile, was already running her license plate through the system. Karen crossed her arms. "You can't ticket me. I have authorization from the HOA board." The officer sighed. "Ma'am, there's no HOA jurisdiction over this property." Then the radio crackled. The deputy by the car stiffened, looked at his partner, and whispered something. The first officer turned toward Karen. "Ma'am, could you please step to the side of the vehicle?" Karen frowned. "What for?" "Just a routine verification." But I saw it, the flicker in the deputy's expression. Something had popped up. Something serious. Karen tried to keep control. "This is ridiculous. I know your supervisor. My husband plays golf with a ma'am." The deputy cut her off. "Please place your hands where I can see them." Her jaw dropped. "Excuse me, what's going on?" He looked straight at her. "You have an active warrant in the state system. Failure to appear in court for a fraud-related citation." The color left her face faster than sunlight fades behind storm clouds. That's impossible," she stammered. "That must be a mistake." The officer's tone was calm but firm. "We can sort that out downtown. For now, step away from the vehicle." I watched in disbelief as the woman who'd tormented half the block lectured kids about grass height, fined retirees for porch chairs, suddenly looked small. Her voice trembled. No, you can't do this in front of everyone. Please, I'm the HOA president." The deputy almost smiled. "Ma'am, that title doesn't mean much in state court." Neighbors started gathering, phones out, whispers buzzing. "Is that Karen? She's getting arrested." "Oh my God, record this." Karen turned red. "You'll regret this," she screamed at me. "You're behind this, aren't you? You hacked something." I shook my head slowly. "No, Karen. I just called the sheriff." Her hands shook as they cuffed her beside her own SUV, the same SUV she'd parked like a weapon across my driveway. And then the deputy handed me a slip. "Sir, here's your incident report number. You're clear to move your vehicle." Karen was sobbing now. "Please, my HOA meeting is today." The officer replied dryly, "You might want to reschedule." The tow truck arrived moments later, ironically, the same company Karen used to threaten others with as it hooked her SUV. I caught the sight of her HOA badge dangling from the rear-view mirror, a tiny symbol of her collapsing control. The deputy glanced at me. "Guess she picked the wrong driveway to block." I nodded. "Guess so." Karen's arrest became instant neighborhood gossip. By evening, everyone had seen the video. Even the HOA vice president tried to distance themselves. "We had no idea she had legal issues," he said to a local reporter. Within 24 hours, county investigators started digging turns out. Karen had been funneling HOA funds into consulting expenses for a landscaping company owned by her cousin. 3 homeowners filed complaints. The county suspended the HOA board pending review. Meanwhile, I sat on my porch with a cup of coffee, watching the sunset paint the street gold, peaceful, quiet. For the first time since moving in, nobody was shouting about violations. Then I heard footsteps. My next door neighbor Tom came over. He grinned. "Heard you had quite the morning." I chuckled. "Yeah. Didn't plan on being the guy who ended the HOA Queen's reign, though." He laughed. "Well, you did the whole neighborhood a favor." A week later, I got a call from the sheriff's office. Karen's case had gone public. Her warrant was just the beginning. The fraud charges were bigger than anyone imagined. By the time the dust settled, the county had disbanded her HOA entirely. The street that used to echo with her rules was finally free. I replaced my driveway sign with one that read, "Private property, no HOA beyond this point." And every time I backed my truck out, I smiled. Because sometimes justice doesn't knock softly. Sometimes it parks in your driveway and waits for the sirens to come. In a world full of Karens who think power comes from titles, remember this. Truth, patience, and one phone call can expose the whole act, because when you stand your ground with calm and proof, the noise fades and justice speaks loudest. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you.